more questions
Probably.
out of TikTok than Instagram, but I don't actually know.
Probably.
We'll see.
You have a lot more people on your. You have a lot more people on your Instagram.
I feel like TikTok and Instagram are. Yeah, Instagram's the only one I don't have accounted for here. Honestly, my YouTube is like irrelevant, I feel like, for this.
I feel like mine is too. But whatever.
Something I wanted. Let's see, is this your TikTok?
We should have had some sort of plan.
What do you mean?
What we're gonna talk about.
Well, I think I know what to talk about first.
Yeah, what's that?
I was thinking about all of the people with chronic pain that keep showing up.
Right.
And they're like, they're asking, like, does this apply to me too?
Chronic pain. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I, at first, like, of course it does, but I was thinking, like, I don't really have as much experience. But then I remembered when I was, like, 25.
Right.
I literally couldn't walk for 3 months. Like, I just forgot about this entire part of my life.
Right.
And it happened, like, I remember I had no idea. Like, I just made up something. Like, I just said, like, oh, yeah, like, I was working at the bar and I probably sprained something. But what actually happened was, like, I got cheated on in a 5-year relationship.
Right.
And my entire body, like, just broke. Like, I was super stressed out. I quit my job. I changed jobs, and then I got cheated on. And when that happened, my back...
Stress after stress after stress after stressor.
My back broke. I literally, like, couldn't work. And I couldn't walk for, like... It was like 3 or 4 months it took me to get better. So I did have a thing with chronic pain. I had to have somebody take care of me for 3 or 4 months at least. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look. But I was 25, so.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't think about the, I guess, impact that had. And the emotional component of that. Because I was looking for a physical...
solution.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, makes sense.
This one's on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't tell you if anybody's there. And then TikTok. I will pull the recording from here, I guess. So I'll leave this one alone.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We didn't make a plan.
No, we didn't.
We can make one right now.
Yeah.
It's 12:57.
Yeah.
We can make one now.
What should we talk about? Should we talk about like how this all happened? Like, I don't know. I feel like we've talked about that in like our podcasts and in the books and all the books we've written.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we can talk. Hi. Thank you. Hi, YOLO.
What do you usually do on your TikTok? I don't even know how you do your lives.
I do my lives. I just let people ask me questions, but we're specific today. We're talking about chronic illness.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Tori's chronic illness, MCAS, POTS, all of the things, and how she heals it all.
We can do relationship stuff too. Like
we can talk relational things.
The things that you do usually.
Well, and like the truth is, everything that you used for your chronic illness is the same framework that I use for healing our relational triggers. So it's the exact same process.
Yeah.
Whether it's an emotional trigger or a physical symptom, we need it the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here talking about chronic illness or relationships or, whatever.
I've never done a live with you.
No, you haven't.
So I get to see how you do it. I get to see how you do it.
I usually just end up being on a rant.
Yeah.
Great to see you too, Bonnie. Oh, you're a soprano. I'm a soprano as well. I like it. So we've got everything. We've got Instagram, we've got TikTok, we've got Facebook, we've got YouTube.
3 of yours and 3 of mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a soprano. Tori is like a tenor.
I don't even know.
Tori's like a tenor. Kate? How are you?
I've never gone live on Facebook before, so this will be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there are a lot of people on Facebook that have chronic illness questions, so we'll try it.
We'll try it. You have a couple viewers.
Are you a coach? She is.
I am. I'm an embodiment and identity coach. Good to see you too, Kate. I'm an embodiment and identity coach. And this is my subject. My subject / fiance.
Yeah. I'm a whole project.
She's been a project.
It is officially August.
It is.
Who's most likely... What? I don't understand the question.
I don't either. I don't know. I don't either.
Yeah, we're live on YouTube.
We're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you, Bonnie. Yeah, we got engaged back in May. We just set our date.
Yeah.
September 2nd. Talk about a shotgun wedding. But,
Hey, Katie.
Hi, Katie.
There, Facebook is alive. Cool.
Yeah, probably a bot. Thank you, Delana.
Oh my God.
No.
Why do we have...
No. Sorry. Snipper.
Show me how you do that.
We'll just mute.
Mute.
We'll mute them.
So it just mutes them for the whole life? Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I never learned how to do that.
Yeah. So, Tori's been sharing a lot lately her journey with chronic illness on her platform, and she's been getting a lot of attention. And so we wanted to do a live where she could talk about that. If anybody had questions, we could talk about that and like kind of the process that she... Can I like and subscribe for you? Yes, please. Hi, Debbie. So if anybody has any questions, otherwise we'll just keep chatting like we always do.
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of our podcast episodes, but like live.
This is the state I'm in today because I ate all the food yesterday.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just go crazy and eat the whole grocery store.
Yeah.
So now I'm paying for that, and I have like a sugar hangover, which is a fun like problem to have, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Allison says, I have a question. I'm going to try and articulate it.
Sure.
Okay.
Shoot.
Ask all the questions or we'll just keep talking.
Yeah, ask away or we'll just keep talking.
This is good, and we'll post. This will post automatically. It'll just get the side of my head. That's okay.
The YouTube one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I can post this one. I can grab it and post it wherever and clip it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I was just thinking about how for just 3 or 4 months how I couldn't walk, and I don't know how I managed to forget about that.
Right.
But like my mom had to do my laundry. I had to move into my mom's house so that she could like do my laundry, because even like bending over to pick up a laundry basket, I couldn't drive myself anywhere. I was like this.
Yeah.
And I couldn't sit up straight all the way.
Yeah.
And I was on like painkillers and all the things. And
Yeah.
it was like 3 or 4 months at least.
Yeah, I remember asking you how you did that, and you're like, I have no idea.
You can ask anything. Pots and spoons.
Did you stay brain retraining with a few safe foods until symptoms settled down before you started to introduce?
I have to read the rest of it. Let me
Yeah.
see more. Okay. Yeah, so I started off with coffee.
You started with ice cream.
I started with ice cream, you're right. I started with ice cream because I don't know, I just really wanted it. And I figured like ice cream only had like 3 or 4 ingredients, like a really clean one.
Yeah.
So when I first ate the ice cream, I literally was just doing like a bite. And I did like a couple bites for like 3 or 4 days.
In the parking lot of the hospital.
Right. Wherever it felt like safe enough for me to try things. Because like 6 years of like being afraid to eat will do that. So I got, by the 3rd day I got eczema on my hands. So I stopped. I like mistakenly thought that like if I had any symptoms at all, then it meant that like I should stop, like that the symptoms were a failure.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that like that wasn't wasn't what I thought it was. It wasn't like I was gonna die from eczema. So I stopped. But then I did the coffee,
Then
right?
we switched to coffee. Yes.
Right. And with the coffee, like we're talking like a sip of coffee, like one sip of coffee. Um, I got throat tightness, I got itchy, I got dizzy, I got anxious, but I did it, I continued to do it because I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get this back. Like, this isn't, like, I know a lot of people struggle with coffee, it's high in all the things that you're not supposed to have, right? But I did it every day for 7 days, and I was like, I don't give a fuck what happens. Like, I'm so determined to get my coffee back because I just love it so much.
Mm-hmm.
And by the 7th day, I still had symptoms. They were like probably like a 6 or 7 out of 10. And I decided, like, I'm just gonna drink a whole cup of coffee today because I know this is not dangerous. It hasn't killed me, right? Like, it's uncomfortable and I'm experiencing symptoms, but it hasn't killed me. I'm not allergic to coffee, clearly. So I'm going to go ahead and just continue until I drink the whole thing. And I just kept doing that. And like the symptoms just kept going from like a 10 to a 7 to a 5 to a 4 till they were completely gone. And now I drink coffee all day. So I was always recommend starting really small and slowly and building yourself a bubble of safety, whether it's in the parking garage of a hospital or
have your EpiPen handy or whatever it is.
Really, really slow.
But just because you get a symptom, it doesn't mean that it's a true allergy. And I think that's what you learn. And I remember the drive. Remember when we were leaving to go to Florida, and on the drive, you just had, it was like I just remember you sitting there. I think you drank coffee that morning and you're like, this is so fucking interesting.
Yeah.
First, my tongue swelled and then it went away. Then this happened and it went away. Then that happened. It was like, I'm trying to get one. Which one are you going to react to?
Yeah.
That was kind of like the way that you described it. It was like you were witnessing your body send you these symptoms, these alarms, but when you didn't respond to them, it tried a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just like, it went through all the tools like that it had to throw at me to get me to stop trying new things, basically.
Yeah.
And because it's just trying to keep me safe. It's like change feels unsafe. So like, how do I get her to quit, basically?
Yeah.
Like, how do I get her to go back to the way we were so that we can feel safe. Like we're okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, I just had to sit through a lot of symptoms. And it was very uncomfortable. But knowing that it wasn't dangerous was all I needed to keep going. They said... And then after that, like once I got to a certain point in Florida, I just started shoving everything in my face, which is part of the issue I have now. My clothes don't fit anymore. I have a new kind of problem. Yeah, I could never take the medication for MCAS. I literally couldn't tolerate ketotifen. I had an allergic reaction to cromolyn. I didn't even try because I was too scared of it. There was like probiotics they gave me. I was reactive to everything. I couldn't take it anything except like antihistamines and Pepcid. And sometimes I would react to the Pepcid. And I could only tolerate one kind of antihistamine. So yeah, I kind of had to do all of it without medication. Somebody asked, how long did you do brain retraining before you got well? How many hours a day did you invest? This is the great question because all the programs that you buy that are like $700, they require you to do a bunch of work and like work hard. And like, in my opinion, anything that feels like work that you have to do every day is a stress on your body.
Yeah.
It's another load on your nervous system.
Yeah.
If it feels like fucking work, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I don't meditate. I don't do visuals. I didn't do any of that stuff. I had a belief that I could get well, that I could be just like everyone else. I focused on other people and what they were doing. And I was like, oh, look, like, they're all out here drinking coffee and shoving crap in their face and they're not even thinking about it. They're living in mold and they're all healthy. Like, I was just observing, like, what normal life was like because I've been trapped in my little bubble for so long. And I focused on that instead. I didn't do anything specific. I just did, like, what we know works to, like, retrain your mind. Focusing on something else besides the symptoms. Believing in what your future is going to be. So wouldn't say that I like put in work in that way.
I feel like you did a lot of work but you did do, prior to this, prior to tackling your chronic illness, you did a lot of nervous system work prior to that. Because, like, for 2 years, you know, you were working on emotional things, actually, like emotional and trauma related things. And you did a lot of that. And I felt like that sort of built your capacity to be able to do the same thing for your chronic illness.
That's true. That's true. I don't think so. It was about 2 years of working on my nervous system before I got to the place where I felt comfortable enough to retry the foods, because that was like the scariest thing in the world for me was the food. So I really saved that for last. I first had to like calm down. I did a lot of EMDR too.
Yeah.
Just like trauma stuff, things that have nothing to do with food, you would think, but just to calm all of my reactivity down, like my emotional reactivity.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I did. It was about 2 years of doing all of the things.
Yeah.
And just showing up, though, really, and being willing to sit in discomfort. But I wouldn't say I was like I wasn't doing a workbook or like doing a course or any of that stuff. Just understanding how the brain works.
Where can I buy the new mold book? The mold book is available on Amazon. It's called...
There's 2 of them.
What do we call it?
When leaving
isn't an option. because so many people can't leave, right? They can't leave. And like the reality is every building is moldy. Like every building is. And some people cannot leave, cannot get up and leave. And so we wanted to write a book specifically for those people. We're not saying don't leave. We're not saying it's safe to stay. We're saying this is specifically for people who can't leave and want to retrain some of their beliefs around it. And so it's on Amazon. When Leaving Isn't an Option is available on Amazon, and it's also available through both of our stores, both link trees.
And the book was important for me because like this house has an ERMI score of like almost 40. And the Hurts Me is 50. So it's like it's like 2 times as bad, you know, as it would need to be to qualify as like uninhabitable according to the ERMI scores that everybody follows. So like I got here and I was like, what am I going to do? Like, not live with my fiance, like, not have a life, not get married because mold is here? Like, I can't outrun mold for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. So there must be another way. And here I am, like, I'm just getting chunky and, like, eating all the food and eating all the cookies and drinking all the wine. And it's, you know, according to the ERMI score, like, I should be, like, I should be dying, you know, and wasting away. And I'm, like, just getting fat. And
what kind of nervous system work did you do to build capacity? Everything that I teach.
Yeah, this is the Jackie Faber stuff.
Yeah, everything that I teach about recognition work, YOLO. It's, if you haven't, like, gotten my Are You Sick of Healing yet? Like, if you haven't grabbed that book, that is where I break down what recognition is. Recognition is simply, like, it's learning how to become the observer of your experience instead of allowing yourself to get pulled into the experience. So I'm witnessing my thoughts. I'm witnessing the nervous system response. I'm witnessing what my body is feeling, and I'm learning how to separate sensation from story because they're not the same thing. A lot of the patterns that live in our nervous system are perpetuated because we constantly meet them the same way. So like I was noticing with Tori when she first started to like integrate into my home, she was responding to things through fear where there was no danger present. And like she was automatically responding, like she would kiss me and taste something on my mouth and not even have a reaction, but treat it like she was about to fucking die. And I was like, and she would run to the bathroom and go spit out and wash out her mouth. And like, it's a good thing that I'm not self-conscious because that I think a lot of people would have had a problem with that. But like, she was reacting to things that weren't even a problem. Like it was like she was anticipating a reaction. And so she was just doing everything to try to prevent and avoid. And I started noticing that. And so that's when we started to like just sort of challenge the way she was the way she was relating to all of these things were actually keeping her in the loop of fear. And we break down the fear loop in both of the books. And When Leaving Isn't an Option and Your Relationship to Your Symptoms, we break down what the fear loop is and how to break out of it.
Yeah. there's so many questions on Facebook. They asked if my sensitivities to smells and chemicals went away. They did. I couldn't sleep in a hotel, and then I think we've had 2 trips where we've had to stay in hotels. I will say that like I don't like chemicals. I'm never going to purposefully expose myself to chemicals because I know too much now about them and like that they're not good for you. Um, so I would never. I also just don't enjoy the way that they smell. They're kind of ew. They're like when you've been out of the toxins for so long, like they smell horrible to me.
Yeah.
It's not like food. Like now processed food tastes so bad to me, like sugary. I'll still eat it, but like it has that like too sweet, and you can taste that it's artificial. So I would never like willingly walk into chemicals, but they also don't affect me. I sat the other night in a garage for a band practice with no airflow or ventilation. Everybody was chain smoking,
Glade plugins,
yeah,
chain smoking,
things that would have literally like killed me like a year ago. Like they were smoking cigarettes, they were smoking everything. I was smoking. I was doing all the things. They were, and there was a plug-in in the wall and like absolutely no ventilation. So I don't react to it now, but I still don't like it.
There's a difference between a reaction and a preference.
Right. Now it's a choice. Starting adding little bits of food. Good. What other symptoms did you have besides food reactions that were debilitating to daily life? So many. Fatigue, pain, vertigo. This would just be from like the environment or chemicals or a change in the air pressure or like if it started raining, I would always react. I guess it was like a pressure thing. Or to like at altitude, like dizziness, all the things. I had so many, like so much dysautonomia and like dizziness and like blood pressure would like be really high or really low. And just, or my blood sugar was like way out of whack. I had so many other weird things. The dizziness was weird too.
But I think what's really interesting too was, and I feel like a lot of people can relate to this, is how super sensitive you are about noticing your body's thing. Right. Like there's so many times you will describe things, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm feeling, and I'll be like, oh, I felt that before. But the difference is like I don't organize around it. Like I don't think that it means, like I'm just like, oh, whatever, I stood up and I got dizzy, or oh, whatever, like my food is not digesting, or I'm like, you've described so many feelings and sensations that I know that I've experienced, but I never went to the internet to search what it means.
Right. You didn't focus on it, and you didn't assign significance and meaning to it. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And that's true. I didn't consider that before, but like a lot of people they get a little itchy or their throat's a little scratchy and they don't think anything of it.
No.
And they move on with their day and the sensation goes away because your brain is like, oh, this isn't important. Your brain filters out tons of information every second that is not important.
Yeah.
And the difference is that when you have when you have, what you perceive as a chronic illness or chronic symptoms, every time they come up, your reaction to those symptoms is like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
You're training your brain to focus on it as important. And so then the next time it happens, it's going to come into your awareness. Whereas if it wasn't, it would just overlook it, right? So the way we respond to our symptoms also can perpetuate the importance our brain gives them, if that makes sense. And I break that down too in both of the books, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember. The garage thing would have taken me out coming from an ex-smoker. Yeah, it wasn't pleasant. I'm an ex-smoker.
Yeah.
It wasn't pleasant.
We still, here's the thing, we still didn't love it. I noticed that, it wasn't making me feel good. It wasn't making you feel good either. But, we could sit there, and it's not like normally, if this was me in the past.
You would have left.
I would have had, I wouldn't have even stayed. But then I would have the next day, probably had to go do an asthma treatment, and, it would have been a whole thing. So I was able to just have a life, and that's the goal, I think, is, just to be able to fully engage in life the way that you want to. That's the goal.
Right, because I think so many people have these conditions, and then their life just gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And, I even just thinking of, you lived in your fucking car for 9 months.
Yeah.
Because you were trying to avoid fragrances, chemicals, and mold. And it's just not possible.
And that's what pisses me off about a lot of the influencers that are not fully well. They like literally live in avoidance. They live, or they're constantly doing mediation, and they're taking all these pills and like propping themselves up with avoidance and supplements. And I'm like, you're not well, dude. Like, if I put a Reese's cup in your face, you would fucking crumble. Like, if I smoked a cigarette in your face and made you eat a Reese's cup and you would not be okay, you're not well and you shouldn't be giving advice. That's just my 2 cents. Like, if your immune system cannot stand up to modern life, you're not well. Yeah. Shut the fuck up and stop giving advice on the internet and scaring people, because the goal should not be to get well in avoidance. It should be that, like, I'm strong enough to stand up to anything. I'm choosing maybe not to eat processed food anymore. I'm choosing not to smoke and drink, but I could if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So that's my, I guess, vision of what health actually is.
Yeah.
To be resilient. Are you guys a couple? Yeah, we're engaged.
Yeah,
we're getting married next month.
My ring's getting resized.
Oh no,
yeah. we're getting their wedding bands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You feel the symptoms coming on and talk to yourself. I don't know what Olympic system is. I don't know if that's a typo. Oh, did I do that? I've posted some videos about what I did to kind of talk to myself.
What about the anaphylaxis you had on Mother's Day?
Oh, they watched the podcast.
You listened to the podcast. Nice.
I haven't. So you know what? That's interesting. I haven't been around. I guess I should buy you some flowers.
We should test it out.
Test it, because I haven't.
Because I even said, like, for our wedding, I'm just gonna get like those cute little wooden flowers, like a wooden bouquet. Yeah. I wasn't gonna get real flowers.
Yeah.
But
we'll try it out.
Yeah,
we'll make a post.
Tori needs to like buy me some new flowers to replace my Mother's Day ones that she threw out.
I will say this, like, now I take a lot more walks and I go outside a lot more often because I just feel better. And I haven't noticed any like environmental reactions. Like, I used to react to like being under a tree or like walking through like a wooded area. I haven't noticed anything like that.
Are you going to be writing happy songs?
I already wrote some. There's one that just came out.
One came out yesterday.
There's love songs out. Go to my Spotify. There's love songs now. Yeah, I literally cut all the like creams and body products and stuff out. I wouldn't use that stuff at all the last 6 years because I was reacting to everything. I stopped wearing like shampoo, conditioner, soap. I changed my soap. I changed just about everything.
And you did all of that for me too. Like when we first met, she I she didn't make me, but like I chose to give up all of my personal hygiene products and certain makeup and stuff like that, and fragrance-free laundry detergent and all of the things. And I think we'll still continue to do that because it's just when you finally cut fragrances out of your life, you realize how gross they are. Yeah, but it's nice to do all these things now as a choice. Yeah. Like if I eat meat now, it's because I choose to eat it. And I can eat it any way I want to. It doesn't have to be a specific way or like worried about histamine or anything. So, like trying to make healthy choices. I don't feel like fragrances are healthy, so I'm not going to reintroduce them. But, I might wear some cologne. That could happen. I might like choose to do that certain times. But I'm not going to like go get some nasty like laundry detergent. So I just want to respond to this quick. A partner who lacks accountability. I think it's important. I don't try to change her, and she doesn't try to change me. So if you're in a relationship, and as the relationship stands right now, you're not happy with it, you probably shouldn't be in that relationship. I can't force people to take accountability. The only thing I can do is observe what people choose to do and decide if that works for me or not. So, that is the only response I have to the question about accountability.
Somebody asked, how do you get past the anxiety trying foods again? That's a good question. That should be like a whole video probably. So I just built myself a bubble of safety. So I still have EpiPens like in my backpack just because like why not? That made me feel safe. I called it my emotional support EpiPen. In my emotional support backpack, which had antihistamines and like all the things, steroids. I used to carry steroids around with me, just to make myself feel safer. My intention was never to use them, but sitting in the hospital parking lot made me feel safe when I first started reintroducing foods. So that's what I did. And I would always tell her, like, I'm gonna try it now. Like, I'm gonna eat it. And I'll let you know. So, like, whatever you have to do to make yourself feel safer.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll post, Tori will probably post it to her YouTube, and I'll post it to my YouTube. So if you have to leave, we will put the replay up.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, and I'll clip it too, wherever I can. Somebody posted the podcast. Thanks for doing that. So yeah, we talk about a lot of these things on a podcast. What I like about the podcast is that it shows the evolution from where I started to where I am now in just like a very short period of time.
Yeah.
Because when the podcast started, I was like anaphylactic to flowers. I was reacting to the mattress. We changed 7,000 times.
We went through 7 different mattresses. We talked about our trip to Toronto where we had to like make accommodations to the hotel and bring your food in your cooler and all of the things like, but we were talking about like, and so then the shift to now, people can go back. Anybody who's like, she was faking, she didn't have it, like it was all in our podcast.
Yeah. Cause like when people, like people say, oh, you never really were sick. You must have only got well because you were never actually sick. And I'm like, go back and watch the podcast. It ran my life.
Yeah.
It made every decision for me about what I could or couldn't do. I barely made it to Canada alive. Like, how many times did I stop at the emergency room on the way here the first time?
Yeah.
Because like I was driving through states that like there was lots of like industrial, like fumes and stuff in the air I was reacting to. I thought I was going to die in Alabama because there's so much industrial shit there. Or like the change in altitude, going up and down, driving through Tennessee and feeling like I was going to die. And that really scared the shit out of me, the altitude.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize I was reactive to altitude then. So,
but what's funny about that is, so you had this experience of going through the mountains. Then you found out, I don't know, did you go into a group and ask questions and then you found out that altitude? So, So she's having symptoms driving through the mountains and she gets on her Facebook groups and she starts asking questions and she finds out that people react to mountains. And so now she's like, now it's on the radar and it's part of the fear loop. But the interesting thing is when we drove together, you had no reactions.
No reactions. I think it's because I got through it the first time and I realized like, oh, this wasn't even dangerous. Like it scared the shit out of me the first time. But then I realized like, okay, it's not dangerous because I made it through. But I also was calmer the second time.
Yeah.
Because you were with me.
Yeah.
And it made a significant difference in the state of my nervous system when I went through the altitude. And now I have no reaction to it.
And then now the last time we went through all of the West Virginia Turnpike and everything. And we went through all the mountains and there was nothing. It was breezy.
Well, I noticed like I would feel like, oh, my ears are full. But then it just meant my ears are full. That's normal. Instead of like, let's freak out about what this means.
Yeah, my ears pop all the time when I'm going like this.
So I met the symptoms differently. I was like, oh, this is a normal reaction, no big deal. And then nothing escalated from there. It was just normal. Mm-hmm. Do you think someone can heal if they're in an unsafe relationship? That's a great question.
Safety. So that question has a couple of assumptions. From my perspective, safety is something that is internal. And part of safety being internal is my ability to discern what works for me and what doesn't. Like, can I heal in a relationship where somebody is, physically abusing me? Probably not. But I'm also not creating my own safety by removing myself from that type of relationship. Like if a relationship is causing me a lot of stress and anxiety and I'm choosing to stay, then there's probably not going to be, it's going to be incredibly difficult to heal in that. Mm-hmm. So like, Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of assumptions just built into that question that I would need to peel back so many things in order to get to an answer that will make sense.
Yeah. I don't think I could have healed in any of my past relationships.
No.
I think it was just another thing keeping me in fight or flight.
Well, so the question over here, there's nothing about your relationship that you would want to see prove or needs are all the same. There's nothing about our relationship that I would change.
Me neither.
No. Do we have the same needs? I think it depends on what you define as needs, because a lot of people have preferences that they turn into relational needs. The needs of a relationship are pretty basic. They're like respect, honesty. Like those are the things that a relationship needs in order to function. They're pretty basic. A lot of people take their unhealed wounds, their personal preferences, and they now decide it is a relational need. We don't operate that way. Tori takes responsibility for all of her triggers, all of her stories, all of her wounding. I take responsibility for mine. So there's never a point where we're like, I need you to do this. I don't need you to do anything. I don't need you to change. I don't need you to be any different than the way you are. If the way you naturally are triggers me, it's my opportunity to look at what beliefs I'm holding or what values I hold that are being bumped up against. Yeah. And then I get an opportunity to work through them.
A lot of people are just dating people that they don't even like, also, to be honest, or that they can't be themselves with.
If your partner were to break honesty, you would just leave. If honesty was a value of mine and I found out that my partner was dishonest, I would be abandoning myself to continue the relationship.
Yeah. But I also don't feel like I need to lie to you because this is a safe relationship.
Yeah.
So I can't think of a situation where I would feel like I needed to hide or lie about anything.
Yeah.
So that's kind of hard to imagine.
Yeah, but there's been lots of relationships that I've been in where there was dishonesty. Yeah. But the only reason I experienced conflict was because I was trying to make a relationship that went against my values work. I was trying to force a square peg in a round hole.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I value honesty and I see dishonesty in my partner, I'm not having integrity for myself to stay in that relationship.
Mm-hmm. She said, when you started eating again, did you get the crazy night sweats and high heart rate again? How did you get past that? So I guess the thing that I noticed about those two symptoms is that they're not life-threatening, which is great. I started to look at symptoms that way and be like, is this life-threatening? Because if it's not, does it matter? Like, it's just another alarm, right? So, like, that could be so many things, too, like night sweats and high heart rate. That could be anxiety. That could be, the environment you're in. That could be so many things. Like, that could be your emotional, all kinds of stuff. So I would never assume where that's coming from. I would just be like, oh, this is interesting. Like, but at least it's not life-threatening. So I don't see any reason not to put up with that and meet those symptoms like, oh, this must be like some kind of alarm from my nervous system, or like, I don't know, whatever you think it is. I would have to know your specific situation. How do you quiet the negative noise in your brain at night when you're trying to go to sleep or when waking in the middle of the night?
So you have rumination problems, Deborah? You're ruminating?
You might have to expand on that, about what the negative noise is. Nights?
I think this is from two healed and aware people. Would you define yourself as healed? I'm just curious. Do you define yourself as healed?
I think I'm aware.
Definitely, yeah.
I would say I'm still emotionally dysregulated.
She's very emotionally dysregulated.
Fuck you. Oh. Ow. I feel like it's a choice, and I am doing everything that I'm doing with full awareness of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and I'm doing everything systematically. I'm working on one thing at a time.
And then you accept yourself as you are right now.
Yeah.
And
I'm fine with it.
And I accept you as you are right now.
So aware, maybe not healed. That's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't give a fuck, to be honest.
You don't have to be.
I like what's going on right now. Yeah. And I'm doing one thing at a time. I have a lot of things to work on. Here's the thing, like, because I had MCAS, I have so many nutrient deficiencies. I have teeth that are fucked up from nutrient deficiencies. And my like gut was all screwed up. So I have to work on my gums and fix my gums. That's like the number one thing I care about right now. Fuck the like emotional regulation. I'm like, how do I fix my teeth? How do I get enough nutrients? Now that I can eat whatever I want, how do I get all the nutrients back? Like, what's the most nutrient dense food I can eat? Or what was the other thing? Like, I have some like eating disorder stuff and hormonal stuff that I want to fix now that I have the ability to because I can eat and drink and take all the supplements and whatever. So like repairing my physical health right now is what I'm focused on. I feel like I can only focus on so many things at once.
Yeah.
So like that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not really thinking about how I come off, I guess, from the point of like.
But if I was like really insecure and if I needed you to be a certain way and if I like took everything you did personally, there's no way this relationship would work.
Right.
There's no way.
Why?
Because if I was taking everything you said and did personally,
yeah,
there's no way.
I don't think I'm that bad.
No, I don't think you're that bad.
Ruminating about living in mold.
Ruminating about living in mold. Okay, I would recommend grabbing our book because there's a lot of like inside the book, there's the common beliefs that we hold, which is probably what you're ruminating over, and then I give you reframes. I give you a different perspective on how to think about those things so that you're not ruminating, so that you're not relating to it in the way that you are.
Yeah. And it's, yeah, because we have like all the stories we've been told, and then like the scary mold ads will pop up on my Facebook. It's like the most terrifying shit you've ever seen. And like, so that's the way we're programmed to think about mold is like terrifying. Mm-hmm. But it's because when you get an emotional reaction out of somebody or scare them, they're more likely to buy whatever bullshit you're selling. Sorry, I'm getting distracted by the random comments that have nothing to do with
stealing all my potential girlfriends. Give a bro a chance.
You never had a chance. I promise you never had a chance. Yeah, I became really deficient in vitamins and minerals. Here's a good thing to know too, though. For 6 years, I ate nothing but beef, salt, and water. And my biggest fear, somebody asked me about this the other day. My biggest fear was that I was going to die from the nutrient deficiencies because I could feel in my body like my bones literally like how like brittle they were, and like I could see my gums bleeding and like my nails cracking, and like I was in fight or flight and terrified because of not being able to eat. But I made it. I'm alive. Like the biggest thing that helped me was when one of my doctors said like, you know, you're not gonna die immediately. Like your body is more resilient than you believe it is. So you just stop stressing about, you know, the food right mm-hmm. now. Stop mm-hmm. stressing about everything you can't do because it's making it worse. Mm-hmm. Ear block. Yeah, I had all the things. I had ear blockage. I had mucus like everywhere in all the places all the time, 24/7. I was like all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. I remember getting voice memos from you mm-hmm. when you're still living in Florida, and like every other sentence there's like a sniff that or like your little sneezy thing that you do.
Yeah, it was bad. I could barely talk.
I ordered your book. It's arriving today. Yay. You'll have to give us some feedback after you read it.
Yeah. What I like about the books too is that they're not super long.
They're not. She was very intentional. She was like, people with these, you know, everybody with these chronic illness, they have so much on their mind. Do not write a fucking 200-page book. Make it nice and short. Make it an easy read. So I think they're like 80 pages. Like they're easy. They're easy to read.
Because it's like there's so much brain fog that people have. How do you find the book? It's in my links on all the platforms, and it's also on Amazon.
Yeah. So we've written two. Living in Mold, when leaving isn't an option is specifically for people who live in mold and can't leave. And then the other one is your relationship with your symptoms, and they're both available as a PDF or as a physical book on Amazon.
Yeah. Somebody's asking about the SIRS testing. So I paid a cajillion dollars for all the tests and all the supplements and all the nutritionists and practitioners and all the people online. I literally feel like I worked with everybody. Did you take the biomarkers blood test and the visual test? Yeah. And I took, this was like a 3-part test, I think, with SIRS. So we did blood work, failed the blood work. You're not doing well. You're in my, I don't know, also on my regular blood work, my white blood cells were all bad. And then there was a nasal swab too, I think, that I failed. They were like, oh, this is bad. I don't know. I didn't look into what it all meant. I just knew okay, yeah, I'm sick. All it did was confirm that I wasn't well. It didn't tell me how to fix anything. And I knew that any protocols that they give you lots of supplements for SIRS, I knew I wasn't going to tolerate them anyway. So all I did was spend money to be yeah, you're not well. Duh. But I couldn't take any of the pills or do any of the protocols. So, and a visual test too. Yeah, where you look at the thing and something about a pattern. It's a black and white. I can't remember, but I did that too, and I also failed that. And they said, yeah, you have SIRS. But I couldn't tolerate any of the protocols, so I didn't bother to do anything. Yeah, I did the nasal swab, I did the vision test, and I did the blood. It was thousands of dollars, and then I'm like, oh, cool, I can't take any of these supplements, so what am I supposed to do? I would put a little speck of the supplement in my mouth, open it up and take it, and I would react to it. So then I was like, oh, I guess I'm just out of luck because I can't take the treatments.
So I just want to reflect something what we're talking about. Did you do this test? Did you do that test? Did you whatever? It all ties back to what we're talking about, how if I decide this is important, my brain is going to focus on it and make it important. Looking back now, were any of those tests relevant?
No, it was a waste. I wish I had that money back. None of it was relevant. And it's people ask me all the time too, constantly. It's the most prevalent question I get is, did you have this symptom? Did you have that symptom? Did you have this condition? And the truth is that it's all the same. It doesn't matter. If I had fatigue and you didn't, this still applies to you. If you have,
because it's how you're relating to the experience you're having.
Yeah.
Are you relating to it from a place of fear, or are you relating it from a place of curiosity? Because the energy behind both are different, and they communicate different things to your nervous system.
Yeah. And hyper focusing on which symptoms you have and how severe they are and why is this here and what does this mean is what's keeping you in the fear loop. It's what's making this the significance that you assign to it. I tell people that I work with one-on-one, stop making it important. Acknowledge it. Oh, I see that my arm is itchy. That's not going to kill me, so it's not important. Anyway, what was I doing? And you go back to what you're doing. You show your brain that, this is not going to stop your whole entire day where you, focus.
I feel in order to get to a space where, you know about MCAS and all of these conditions, you already have created the loop.
Yeah. And people, it's funny because, there are people that used to help me. There was an acupuncturist who, she was $350 an hour. She now asks me questions and I told her, I said, your issue, why you're stuck in this loop still, is because you know too much.
Yeah.
You know about genes and you know about specific strains of gut bacteria and strains of mold. And the more you know, the more you have reinforced the danger loop in your mind. Mm-hmm. It's actually a hindrance. I feel the more you know.
It's the same with emotional trauma, people who know about inner child work and attachment theory and this wound and that wound and this, all of that. The brain does not like not knowing. So it seeks answers until it finds. But if your sense of safety depends on something outside of you, there is not enough seeking that you will ever be able to do, because something else will pop up and your brain will be like, oh, well, maybe it's that too. Maybe I should look at that. And then you spend another fucking 3 days down a rabbit hole learning about things that are not actually relevant, but your brain thinks they're relevant, and so it just perpetuates the cycle.
Yep. Somebody asked on Amazon, what do we look for to find your book?
If you type in "when leaving isn't an option," it will pop up. It's the first one that pops up.
Yeah, and if you can't find it there, you can always send me a DM, and I'll send you all the links. It's in my links too on my profiles on socials. Um, let's see. They're asking about specific symptoms. Yeah, chest tightness and itching can be from your nervous system, 100%. So this is a long one to break down.
You're not ignoring this. Acknowledge and ignore are not the same things. You can't acknowledge a symptom and ignore it at the same time, right? So we're acknowledging it, but we don't need to act on it and make a decision and decide what it means right now. Like, that's the problem, is if I get a symptom and I'm immediately looking for what caused it, I'm not actually allowing myself to have the experience. I am immediately moving to resolution, and I'm treating that symptom as a problem that needs to be solved. And that's what I'm communicating in my nervous system. So I can acknowledge the symptom without needing to resolve it right now, if that makes sense. Just creating that space teaches your nervous system to relate differently.
Yeah, and then so is the book still good for someone not dealing with mold? Yeah, and we have
a second book too called Your Relationship with Your Symptoms.
Yeah, your relationship with your symptoms is the whole framework, right?
Yeah.
For how we do this. So I didn't try to make the ear blockage or sinus pressure go away. When you try to make something go away, you're resisting it, right? Stop, stop, stop. That's why DNRS didn't work for me. Instead, it's about like putting it in its proper place. So like I noticed that I have sinus pressure today. That's okay. Like it's not gonna kill me. So I'm gonna put it on my shoulder and bring it with me, and I'm gonna go do my day now. I'm putting it in its proper place, which is here instead of like the focus of my entire day. And it went away on its own over time, showing my brain that it wasn't important, retraining my response to that sinus pressure. My response to the sinus pressure used to be, oh my God, why is this here? This is going to ruin my day. Why can't I fucking breathe? How come everybody else gets to like have a normal life and not me?
Yeah.
And all the things. And this is going to ruin my day and all the stories that come with it.
The poor me stories were a big one. The poor me stories were a big one.
And so instead of, like, interrupting the automatic thoughts and then just putting it in its proper place, like this belongs here, like I will bring this with me while I do my day today, and it's not something I'm going to think about all day or direct my attention to, especially something like that. Like that's an easy one to retrain on because sinus pressure is not dangerous. They're asking if I had an actual diagnosis. I did. Multiple like specialists, and one was a GI doctor, one was a functional medicine doctor, but he was an MD, and then there was another one too. She was like a SIRS specialist. So they all diagnosed me with all the things. They just didn't give me any solutions except take antihistamines. Mm-hmm. I couldn't do mast cell stabilizers. I reacted to all of them, so I never used those.
Answer this one.
And then, by the way, medical diagnoses are spells. Don't fucking accept that shit. Don't fucking accept it.
All words are spells.
Don't accept a diagnosis.
I think, yeah. You end up placing yourself in a box. Like, it's one thing to understand. It's another to be like, now this is the reason I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's statistical evidence too to prove that like once somebody is given like a certain amount of time to live,
yeah,
versus like not being told, like the difference in life expectancy, like your brain is so powerful.
What about when your symptoms cause you to pass out or swell up? It's hard not to be afraid.
What about when the symptoms cause you to pass out? So I never passed out. I felt like I was going to pass out, and I definitely had a lot of swelling. I understand the swelling feels really dangerous. You have to use your intuition on this. Like, I would, especially in VOCs, my neck, my throat, and my eyes and my tongue would all swell. And that was the scariest symptom for me. But at a certain point, I realized like the swelling doesn't go past a certain point. Like my throat's not completely closing. I'm not like actually like dying. Like for example, in VOCs, that would happen. So, and I would get joint pain in my fingers too really badly in VOCs. So that was my hardest one. I had to like it to an extent when I realized like I'm not getting worse. Like if I sleep in VOCs all night, I start at like my symptoms are a 7 out of 10. When I wake up, they're still a 7 out of 10. And then I had to let that go. I had to let the fear of that go. And when I did that, I was able to get past it.
Like the first time you came to my house, you couldn't be here for more than an hour.
Right, because the swelling scared me. I thought the swelling was going to be life-threatening, so I would run away. And it wasn't until I challenged that belief and I stayed in it that I realized, like, okay, this does, like, happen, but it only gets to, like, maybe, like, an 8 out of 10, and then it stops.
The VOC thing, your VOC flip happened in Florida.
Yeah.
It happened in Florida.
Yeah, I walked into my brand new house, and I was like, okay, if I don't stay here, then I'm homeless again. So I guess we're just going to try this out, and I would rather die than, like, be homeless again. So
but then the interesting thing was as you stayed, the alarms went off.
Yeah, so like the first hour that I did this, I stayed in the brand new house, new flooring, new paint, all the things, right? Like a nightmare for VOCs. My symptoms were like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. And then after maybe the first 2 hours, they were like an 8 out of 10 and like a 7 out of 10. And then as time went on, I think I went to bed that night, I was like a 5 out of 10. I woke up and I was still a 5 out of 10.
And then that was what led you to really like just let it all out and try every food.
Well, I was like, wait a minute, like, so I challenged my belief that, like, you know, it was dangerous. And when I woke up that way, I was like, well, if I can sleep in VOCs and the symptoms go from an 8 or a 9 to a 5, that means this was my nervous system, right? That means this was my, like, hyperreactivity. So that means I could probably eat food too. And then I just went to the Cheesecake Factory, and that was the end of it.
And we got 3 different kinds of cheesecake.
That was the end of that shit. Here's what's interesting too. When I ate the cheesecake, for the first 45 minutes, I had symptoms. I was dizzy. I was anxious. I had heart palpitations. I started sweating. I got a little bit of hives on my chest and on my wrist. I got itching on my chest. But after 45 minutes of just sticking it out and staying calm, it passed. And I was like, well, this is fucking horseshit. Like, this whole time I could have been doing this. Like, I didn't know the difference between a true allergy and a nervous system symptom because they feel similar and they feel dangerous. But when I didn't know the difference, that's what kept me in fear. But I literally proved it to myself sitting there and challenging myself that way. But let's see.
Free Tori from the mold.
Someone free Tori. I'm here by choice, guys. I'm good. The ERMI score is double what it should be, and I'm alive and chunky and happy. Did my throat hurt a lot when I added foods back in? I've experienced a lot of throat pain, but it was mostly from clearing my throat and from holding my body, being very, very tense. Like when you're holding yourself like this all the time because you're in fear and you're, trying to protect yourself and keep yourself safe, I would cause myself a lot of pain in a lot of places. My neck would get really sore, my shoulders, my back, my throat would be raw from like clearing it constantly. That was, I guess, mostly my experience with throat pain. I used to have throat pain from eating foods that were high in salicylate as well, but that's all gone.
Your last, there was a question over here about your blood work. Your last blood work came back good, right?
Oh, yeah. Have you got blood work proving that you're now in remission from SIRS? So this is an interesting question. So my blood work came back, and my doctor said this is the best your blood work has ever looked. Keep up whatever you're doing. And what I was doing is just brain retraining and eating all the food and drinking all the wine. But as far as like, I'm not going to go back to a SIRS practitioner and pay thousands of dollars when I feel awesome and I have no reaction to mold. I have no reason to get a SIRS test to prove anything, if that makes sense. Like, why would I go pay thousands of dollars for a test that I don't need? But my regular doctor, who just runs my normal blood work that everybody gets once a year, said it's the best blood work he's ever seen on me, and to just keep doing what I'm doing.
Do you provide specific tools? Inside of the mold book, I walk through the whole process of the whole recognition process. The two books, they're not the same, but they work really closely together. Your relationship with your symptoms and living in mold. The living in mold actually breaks down the whole framework of like what Tori did every time she got a certain symptom. The relationship with your symptoms is more like, it's more like a case study. I think it's more like a case study of her whole process and the changes that she made in order to shift her relationship with her symptoms. So they're similar, but they're not quite the same.
Yeah.
If you're looking for specific tools, then I would get the mold book.
Somebody asked over here about fatigue. I get that question a lot. What is my nervous system trying to tell me when I have fatigue? That's a great question. So, I think with a lot of people, I work with a lot of people who have chronic fatigue, and I had chronic fatigue, and I still sometimes experience fatigue because I was in fight or flight for 6 fucking years, so my adrenals are burnt the fuck out. And a lot of people that have chronic fatigue, you have to look at your life. Like, how are you in your life? Like, if you are eating a ton of processed food, you can give yourself blood sugar issues that way. But also, like, if you work 3 jobs and you have a stressful relationship and you don't listen to your body and you work all the time and you don't sleep enough and you don't go outside and you are a shift worker, all the things that you're doing to cause yourself stress, or you're like running and running and running all the time,
Yeah.
which many people do now. We're like in hustle culture, right?
It's when you think of your nervous system, it holds everything. It holds your relationship stress, your financial stress, your I don't know, like everything. And so if you're experiencing chronic fatigue, it's likely because there's lots of things going on in your life and your nervous system is like overloaded.
Yeah, and if you don't stop and take care of yourself, your body will eventually stop you.
Yeah.
Your nervous system will send the alarms louder and louder and louder. You start off with some pain. You start off with like a little bit of discomfort, and it just builds until you're like totally debilitated, exhausted, in chronic pain because you're not listening. And it's just ringing the alarms as loud as it has to, and it'll put you on your ass if you don't listen to it. And I still am rebuilding my relationship with my body because I did that. I ran myself into the ground and I didn't listen. And I would just like take more stimulants and stay awake and work myself to death. Yep. And now I feel like I'm still rebuilding the relationship with my body because I did that.
Well, the great thing is that you're in Canada and you can't work. So
yeah,
you're forced into slowing down. Yeah. So we just make TikTok videos all day long.
Yeah. Write books.
Write books.
And write books. Joint pain. Yeah, it's all the same things.
How long have you been in this moldy house?
Since April, right?
Yeah.
Since April. And I'm just getting better and better. My hair needs to still grow, but that's a nutrient thing. We're working on it. It takes months and months to correct nutrient deficiencies, by the way. Yeah, mold is everywhere and inescapable. So you have to make a choice. If you're going to run from it forever or if you're going to live a full life. What helps me to always remember is how normal people live. Normal people don't even know that mold's dangerous. They're not even aware it's there. Like, literally the school I worked at, the mold was on the ceiling, and the principal didn't even notice it. People don't notice it.
We're not entering buildings looking for mold.
Right. So my goal is to I always keep in my mind, like, what does a normal person do?
Yeah.
How would a normal person think about this, react to this? Like, would they pick up this cotton candy at the fair and think about every ingredient in it before they put it in their mouth? Or would they just eat it and enjoy it? So, like, I'm always thinking about, like, what would a normal person do and what would their thought process be? They don't wake up and think about they don't know what VOCs are or what that word means. So I'm trying to untrain myself from all the bullshit that I've been told by people selling products in the health space. Did you get the annoying ass tingling on your face and in your mouth? Yes, and it is annoying. And anything that I got like from here up was my scariest.
So this is an interesting question. How do you spin this for kids who are affected by mold? I would say kids learn through role modeling. So if you're freaking out over it, then they're also going to learn the same thing. I mean, the symptoms are real. Absolutely, you're going to want to like address their symptoms and make them feel as comfortable as possible. But if you perceive it to be dangerous and a threat, you're transferring that to them, and their nervous system is going to, you know, respond in the same way.
Are you taking supplements to correct the nutrient deficiency? No. I only eat whole foods. Synthetic vitamins are like not natural, and your body doesn't necessarily know what to do with them. And the things that I've taken away from like being in the carnivore space and being in the chronic illness space is that like, you know, natural is the best. So I just choose to like eat whole real foods. Like I can eat liver now because it's really high in histamine, but now I tolerate it. So I just eat the most nutrient dense food I can. I do take ancestral supplements on occasion, but those are real whole food supplements. There's nothing synthetic in them. So that's just a choice though. And I'm in a place now where I get to make personal choices for myself that I didn't get to make before.
Yeah, you were forced into this very narrow life, but now you get to choose what you actually want to continue doing and not doing. Right?
Yeah. Which is nice.
How do you get out of fight or flight? I feel like the biggest way we get out of fight or flight is to not self-abandon. If every time I self-abandon, my nervous system learns that it can't trust me. It can't trust me. And self-abandonment can look like so many different things. It looks like looking outside of yourself for safety. So creating that internal safety. That's how I would answer that question.
That's really where you have to start.
Yeah.
Like, there are a lot of people that I meet with, and they want, like, specific health advice. And then I find out that, like, they're still in, like, a marriage where their husband is, like, torturing them. Or, like, they're working, like, 4 jobs. And, like, they're not doing the basic things to, like, take care of themselves and, like, keep their body calm. So, like, you have to really do the low-hanging fruit first. Things that are just common sense. That are keeping you stuck that way.
Well, and so many people in situations where there's chronic stress, where your nervous system is constantly in fight or flight, those are the people that get autoimmune disease.
Yes. Yep, and I don't think I've ever met a person with MCAS who didn't also have trauma. And what's interesting is like people don't realize when you get COVID, when you get a virus, when you get a flu, that is a traumatic experience for your body. Like anytime your body or your immune system has to mount a response to a foreign invader, that can be a trauma. Like people get stuck there sometimes, like with long COVID, and it's like your immune system just stayed in hyper-reactive mode, trying to keep you safe.
Christina, many of my symptoms are gone, but I still have this intense fear, terror every morning. What if you were just to say, this is a nervous system pattern that is trying to discharge, and like allow the fear and terror to be there without needing to change it, without needing to fix it, without perceiving it as a problem, and just simply allowing it to be there. And I guarantee it'll eventually go away. When I perceive something as a problem that I need to fix, it stays active. I'm not allowing myself to have some of our emotional experience. So I've had many instances where I'll just get like a rush of anxiety, right? And I have no idea where it comes from. And then my brain tries to jump in. It's like, well, it's because of this, and it's because of that, and it's because of that. And I literally catch myself going, well, no, it's not because of any of those things. It's just simply a rush of anxiety. Why do I need to create a story? Why do I need to create a meaning? Why can't I just allow this rush of anxiety to be in my body? It's just energy moving. It's just energy moving. And when I allow the energy to move, it moves and it doesn't turn into anything. It's just energy moving in my body. So it's just another way to like perceive what's happening. And when I shifted, the way I'm perceiving these physical sensations, then they happen less and less, right? Because they're no longer perceived as a threat.
Mm-hmm. We got a bunch here. I don't know.
What can we do about the trauma from COVID?
It's the same thing. I'm assuming when you say the trauma from COVID, do you mean like the trauma of like 2020 when the whole entire planet was scared to death and everybody's family members died? Yeah. Or do you mean the trauma that like, because you have long COVID and you're still experiencing COVID symptoms? If you could be more specific. Everything about COVID was fucking traumatic.
Yeah, for everybody.
Linda can't hear us. Is anybody else having trouble hearing us? I feel like everybody else can hear us. You meant long COVID. So yeah, with long COVID, your body mounts a response to the foreign invader, right? But then it gets stuck there, and it's like PTSD. It's like your body is still trying to fight something that isn't there anymore. It's a loop, just like anything else. It's a nervous system loop. So it's the same process. You meet your symptoms the same way, with compassion and by putting them in their place. So like, a lot of people with long COVID suffer with fatigue. Chronic fatigue is like a big one. I remember I had COVID and I was chronically fatigued for 6 months after. And I just had to tell myself, like, I understand why I feel this way. It makes sense that I'm super fatigued. But like, I have a couple things to do today. I'm not going to do 40 things today, but I am going to get up. I'm going to take a gentle walk to the mailbox. I'm going to get my mail. I'm going to sit back down and read it. It's just a process of like being compassionate with yourself, but also like not letting your symptoms stop your day, because then you're giving them importance. You have to put the symptoms where they belong.
So we talked about, do you want to go over when you reintroduced food? Like we already talked about that. They could catch that on the replay.
Yeah, we can. When you first started introducing food, did you start slow? Yeah, so we already talked about that. And I did, so I thought that having symptoms meant that I was failing the experiment when I was retrying foods, but the symptoms will always come, and the symptoms are your opportunity to retrain your brain. You need the symptoms in order to get well, because the symptoms come, you start feeling itchy or start feeling dizzy. That's your opportunity to talk to yourself and talk yourself through the process, and to meet those automatic beliefs and responses that you have and say, wait, I know what this is. This is from my nervous system, so here's how I'm going to handle it this way, this time instead. Because I did go into anaphylaxis handful of times, but most of the times I didn't. So I had an EpiPen. I was at the hospital parking lot when I first started reintroducing foods. I built myself a bubble of safety to be able to do it. I didn't just jump into it like a lunatic. Like, I did things that were reasonable, that felt reasonable to me, sitting in the ER parking lot, calling my partner and telling them what I'm doing, having an EpiPen, having things to distract myself while I wait for like the food to like digest and whatever. So I would set yourself up so that you feel as comfortable as possible, because it is terrifying to reintroduce foods after you haven't had them in a long time. I don't understand that question. Do you?
How do you suggest to approach the trauma of family abandonment during? Well, I would address the feelings you have around the family abandonment, and I would say, like, I would need to, like, you would want to work through those emotional things, and most of the time when we work through those emotional things, some of the physical things improve as well. Like, your body will send an alarm. Your body will send an alarm, usually emotionally first. And when you don't respond, then it starts to send physical alarms. And that is from, my experience with chronic illness, is it doesn't just come out of nowhere. It comes because we've been neglecting something else that was trying to get our attention. And so if there's a history of a lot of trauma, dealing with the trauma can resolve some of the chronic illness symptoms as well.
What's interesting is a lot of people I work with one-on-one, and I noticed this about myself too, they had some kind of emotional event like months before they fully like collapsed, or like their health just like totally tanked. And I noticed that with myself too. Like
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with mast cell activation and SIRS for like a year or so, but I still had a lot of foods. I still had some supplements and things, and I wasn't like going to the hospital. I didn't have an EpiPen. When my mom died in 2021, then a few months later, I went to the emergency room, and I landed in the emergency room for 3 days. I had to use an EpiPen for the first time. They prescribed me a bunch of stuff that I had to take, and then my whole body fell apart. And it was because it was just another like crack in my nervous system and my sense of safety in the world, and everything that was shattered. And like my nervous system just like everything just got worse and more intense. And there's a lot of people that I talk to where like they had a death of a family member or something preceding, where like they just fell apart, and it just like always comes back to the emotional component of things not being dealt with, and not being put in their proper place, so then they manifest physically. And understanding that is important, and the doctors never ask you, like when you go to the doctor and you say I have all these symptoms, I can't sleep and I can't eat anything and I'm itchy all the time and nauseous all the time, they don't ask you about your emotional world.
They don't. No.
They don't ask you like how much sleep do you get? Do you eat healthy food? Do you have good friendships in your life? Do you feel like you have a support system? Do you get in the sun every day? Do you have a lot of stress at work? Do you fucking hate your job? Like,
Yeah.
they don't ask you any of those questions. They just give you pills. Yes, I had an emotional event preceding it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I took a prescription antifungal many times, and every single time it made me so much worse, and I would never ever touch it ever again. Made me antibiotics, antifungals ruined my gut and like made my symptoms 100 times worse, and every single time I did it, I regretted it. I also used to get like ringworm from being in mold. I used to have all kinds of things. The mold doesn't affect me now, because everything is regulated. When my nervous system is regulated, my detox pathways work properly. And when everything works properly, your nervous system tells your organs how to function and how to process.
Yeah.
So now that my nervous system is regulated, everything's functioning the way it's supposed to function, and I just don't have symptoms anymore.
Well, we have specific parts of our body that are designed to eliminate the toxins in the environment. And so when your nervous system is in a regulated state, you're in rest and digest, your body parts can function properly.
That's something I think people don't know about mold, because the way that the people making money off of mold and fear have I guess blown mold up online into this big thing, and like mold is like this. It's another drop in your bucket of stuff that you're dealing with. So like the air outside is not always the cleanest. I have no control over that. And like the water that I'm drinking is not always the cleanest. And like my neighbors are like sometimes burning shit and having a fire, and they have there's dryer sheets, and then I go drive in my car and I'm breathing exhaust, and like I eat food that's maybe not like wasn't harvested perfectly, right? And like everything, if I have toxic friendships, toxic relationships, stress at work, all of these things are like drops in your bucket, and the mold is another one, right? So like they make mold like it's the whole entire problem, but the truth is that like all these little things add up and they dysregulate your nervous system. So like the big scary mold thing, it's really the stress of it that is more problematic than anything else, I feel like. And I'm not saying it's not stressful on your body the way that anything else could be, but it's like realizing that they're all stressful. Every little thing about life is stressful.
You were made, so this is a great question. Over time, having severe exposure to mold isn't good. You, for the longest time, believed that, you were in mold your whole life. You were in mold your whole life. Every house, every workplace, every school was full of mold. And then you started having all these symptoms slowly, and then you were told it's because of the mold. The mold did it. But again, just what you said, Yeah. They weren't asking about your relationships. You were in abusive relationship after abusive relationship. You had trauma from your childhood that you hadn't processed. You had, your mom just died. Like, you had all of these emotional things, but they weren't talking about that. They were only focused on the mold.
Yeah. Yeah, people don't understand that, like, I guess the only evidence you really need of this is that there are people, there'll be one house, right? And, like, there's a husband and a wife and a kid. And, like, the wife is totally debilitated and sick. The husband thinks she's insane because he has no symptoms at all and has no idea what she's talking about. He's totally unreactive. And then the kid has, like, a runny nose, right? And then the mom is, like, on the floor, totally paralyzed by everything. How is it that 3 different people could live in the same house and have 3 different responses? And, like, some people will say, oh, it's genes or it's this or that. But the truth is that we know, science shows us even, that, like, the state of your nervous system and your past trauma affects everything. It loads the gun for how you're going to respond when you come into contact with stressful things in life. Mold is another stressful thing in life. But your emotional world and your nervous system and the state that you're in, and the extent that you've dealt with your past trauma and all these things you're carrying in your body that your body remembers because your body keeps the score, is going to determine how resilient you will be when you come into contact with smoke, cigarettes, alcohol, stressful job, a stressful situation, molds, etc. So that's what you do have control over. It's how you deal with those things.
Used to live in India. It's the moldiest place on earth. More moldy than Florida?
I don't know. Yeah, so I lived in Florida my whole life, so there was no shortage of mold. And I mean, my mold was severe. Like, we just took stuff out of a storage unit from my old house when we were in Florida, and it all reeked. It was disgusting. It reeked of mold. So I wouldn't choose to live in mold the same way I wouldn't choose to, like, wear cologne or, like, use dryer sheets because, like, it's not great for humans. But at the same time, like, your body should be resilient enough to deal with these things the way that other people's bodies are resilient enough to deal with these things. There's no reason for us not to be just like everybody else. Some of you guys want to watch the replays because we've answered a lot of these questions.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
I guess I just want to make sure I'll go through the process of, like, what to do when you have a symptom because people keep asking, how do you do this? So, like, I made videos about this too. So, like, I notice that I'm feeling kind of itchy and, like, my chest is itchy and I have hives, right? I have a little bit of, like, hives on my wrists and hives on my chest. So I don't get these symptoms anymore, but when I did, like, I don't necessarily know where these symptoms are coming from. I'm going to choose to, like, not freak out and because I've survived this before. You're, like, staring at me.
Sorry.
I'm so autistic. Stop. So I've noticed that, like, I've had these symptoms before and they haven't killed me. So I don't think I'm in danger. Instead of letting the stories run where I freak out and I start hyperventilating and, like, thinking about how this is going to ruin my day, I'm just going to allow the itchiness to be here, allow the hives to be here. I know that there's signals from my nervous system. They're alarms trying to get my attention, just like fatigue or pain or anything else would be. This has never taken me out before. It's not going to take me out today. So I'm going to sit here and allow it to be here. You can be here. But I'm going to go on with my day. I have things to do. And then I redirect my attention back to what I'm doing. And every time I do that, I show my brain that there's a different way to respond. And if you do this over time, you'll notice that the volume will start to turn down on your symptoms. And I made some videos on this going a little bit more in depth. I need to make some more because people really want, like, the illustration.
Well, and I also break it down very clearly in the books.
Somebody said it's nice that you included your special needs friend in your live stream.
Are you the special needs or am I the special needs?
I don't know. I have a lot of special needs. I'm just fucking autistic, man. Just fucking autistic.
Okay. Well,
all right.
Is there anything else? Like, we're going to repost this on Tori's YouTube and on my YouTube. And if there's questions, like, we've answered all of these questions.
Yeah, we're at an hour and a half.
Yeah.
We're good. But yeah, I appreciate you guys being here. We have 2 books out. You can find them in my links. And one is about changing your relationship to your symptoms. And one is about what to do if you can't leave mold and you're living in mold. So those are there. And we also have a podcast called Later in Life. That's on all the platforms where we talk about these things. And we make videos every day. Mm-hmm. So come find us on all the platforms. We are chronically online. So you can find us. We're not hard to find.
No.
Appreciate you guys for being here.
Okay, amazing. Thank you.